Last time we talked about how to immigrate through your relatives, but we encountered some problems because there's some really long waiting times, and it's not really practical for people to wait that long to immigrate to the U.S. So in this video, I'm going to give you some hints about how you can speed up the time it takes for you to get a green card. You can actually move between the different categories that we talked about. Let's say you are a child of a permanent residence and you're in the 2A or the 2B category. And I told you for Mexico the 2B category could go up to 115 years, which is ridiculous. But what we didn't talk about is what if your parent who petitioned you naturalizes. That moves you up from the 2B category to the first preference category, which is going to be quite a bit shorter. And let's say after that you marry before your number for a green card comes up, you will then move down to the third category, which will mean it will take you a little longer to get a green card than being unmarried, but it will help your spouse immigrate faster. I once had a fellow come into my office and he had really no way to immigrate to the United States. And I started asking him questions like, do you have a girlfriend? And he said, well, yeah. I said, and what's her immigration status? Well, she's got an old priority date through her mother in the second preference category. I said, have you considered marrying her? Oh, no, 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 no. The attorney tells us that we can't get married because that'll absolutely cancel her application. And I said, well, it'll only cancel the application if you do things in the wrong order. What you have to do is wait for her mother to naturalize. She'll go from the 2B to the first preference category. Then you marry her and you'll drop down a little and it'll take a little more time, but you'll both immigrate under the third preference category. And he thought that was a great idea. We did that. 18 months later, they both had green cards. And let's change the circumstances a little. Let's say you're already waiting in the third preference line as a married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen, and your marriage is not working out. Well, if you get divorced, you're going to go up to the first preference category, and it's going to be a lot faster for you to get the green card. Now, there's other ways of doing it. One is country of chargeability. That's the country you were born in most cases. But under one section of the immigration law, there are 4 different rules, and we're not going to go over all 4 of them, but let me give you an example. If you're born in one country, you're born, let's say, in Mexico or the Philippines, and you're subject to really long backlogs, but you marry somebody, and the person you marry, they can be on a temporary visa, they may even be not legally in the United States or not even in the United States, but if you immigrate together with them, and they're from a country without those long backlogs, you can use their country, and it may be many times faster. My wife's from the Philippines, 23-year backlog on paper to get a green card for a brother or sister. But if that brother or sister married somebody from Taiwan or some other country like that, all of a sudden the waiting time is cut in half to about 11 years. The child may also be able to get the parents' country of birth if they're, I had a case of some kids born in Mexico, but their mother, not their father, but their mother was born in France, and to keep the family together, we were able to use France as their country of chargeability. Also, don't forget, and I know it's a little complicated, and we do have 2 videos talking about this, don't forget about the Child Status Protection Act. The Child Status Protection Act does 3 principal things. One, if your parent applies for you to get a green card before your 21st birthday, and they're a U.S. citizen, and then it takes 2 years for them to get you the green card, you're 23, under the Child Status Protection Act, your age is frozen as of the day the petition was submitted. So you're 20 forever. Even if you don't immigrate for another 10 years, you always remain 20. Another thing is, if you immigrate through your parents' petition, your mom's getting her green card because she's a scientist, and you're all waiting in line for that. And some of these petitions, the Immigration Service will keep them pending for 5 or 10 years. Guess what? You turn 21 in real time, but your CISPA age will be reduced by the amount of time that that petition was pending. So you could be 26, but your CISPA age could be 20, and you could immigrate with your parents. Another great thing about CISPA is the opt-out provision. So in certain countries, mostly the Philippines and once in a while Mexico, it's actually easier to immigrate as the child of a permanent resident than the child of a citizen. But nobody thinks about that, so they're all rushing to get naturalized to speed up your application, and then they go to a lawyer and find out, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Can I give away my citizenship? Well, you can't and you shouldn't, because CISPA provides a remedy. You simply write in a letter to the Immigration Service and say, look, I want to stay under that 2B category, and if that waiting time is faster, you use that and you get a green card. So you have that option. And then finally, you should always consider other ways to immigrate to the United States. You may be waiting in line in some long family category as a child or an unmarried son or daughter of a permanent resident, and then all of a sudden you fall in love and marry a citizen, or you marry a permanent resident who then naturalizes. You may also be from a country where you're eligible to apply for the visa lottery. So consider that, because people who qualify for the visa lottery get their green card in a matter of months, not years. Employment may be a faster way to get your green card. So if you're a nurse from Mexico or the Philippines, it's going to be faster for you to get a green card as a nurse than to get it through your sister. Okay? Just make sure that you go through all the different possibilities before you decide which is the best one for you. And good luck to you.